This is the Bob and Tom Show. Thanks very much for joining us. We are live in the Napa Auto Parts Studios. I look around the room and I see Christy Lee is right there at the Navy Federal Credit Union news desk, the Omaha Steaks sports desk, and we use the word sports somewhat lightly, is being manned by Mr. Chick McGee. And also, we have our engineer, Ace Cosby.
Hello, friends.
And let's see now. That would be Pat Godwin. And we have been joined by the tall, tan, and totally together actor and comedian. He is Mr. Jon Lovitz. Hey, John, you look great.
Oh, thank you. I thought I had to be all quiet.
No. We were hoping for the classic Lovitz entrance.
Miami. For a week. Jealous?
No, it's jealous.
Oh, is that how I say it?
You say two things in one movie that kill me every
I
time,
hit the cup.
and those two words are headrest comfortable. From
Conehead.
Yes, yeah.
He plays the dentist in the Conehead.
So are you going to?
That was really fun. Dan Aykroyd. That guy is so great. He played Vice President Bob Dole. He guessed on SNL when I was on there. Then he took all of us to dinner. He was affiliated with the Hard Rock Cafe, which was like this hip place back then. And then he got us all jackets from the Hard Rock Cafe, and we were all dead broke, except for Phil. And I remember Jan Hooks looking at me. She's like, "Who is this guy?" I go, "I know. He's so nice to us. Like we're like, he took us out to dinner, and then he gave us a jacket. We're like, what?" And then I did a movie, My Stepmother's an Alien. I played his brother, and he couldn't have been nicer to me. And I had this trailer that was about, I don't know, probably 40 years old, and it was just, it had holes in it, and it was just musty. So he comes in my trailer, he goes, "Where's your TV?" I go, "I don't have one." No, he goes, "Do you have a TV?" I go, "No." No, I was in his trailer, and I said, "Oh, you have a TV?" He goes, "Well, don't you?" I go, "No." He goes, "Yeah, you do." I go, "No, I don't." He goes, "You're kidding." Let me see. So he comes to my trailer. I go, "Well, it's fine." And believe me, it was a dump, but I was just thrilled to be in a movie and on the lot, at Fox. Next day, he got really pissed. Next day, I had a brand new trailer. And
Wow.
Nice.
And then every day he'd go, "Johnny, you're coming to lunch with us." And the guy knows how to live. He's always been great to me.
Yeah,
that's great.
Dan Aykroyd, also a great harmonica player. And he
With
was
the Blues Brothers.
He was the MC last year when I went to see that Eric Clapton thing. It was so cool. Aykroyd was introducing all these great blues artists and Eric Clapton.
Oh,
Did
right
he play
on.
harmonica with Eric Clapton?
Yeah, he played a little bit.
Oh,
and that's, of course, that's probably somewhat intimidating.
I have a question. So this is Bob and Tom, but they told me Tom's not.
No, Tom.
Bob's not here.
You're Tom. Bob's not here.
Bob is not
So why isn't it ... and Tom?
here. Could do that, I suppose.
Costs a
Ellipsis
lot
and
to
Tom.
make new.
I
Signs.
bought 50,000 of these cups.
We have all these
Do
signs.
you feel like,
Yeah.
do you feel like Bob just abandoned you?
He
Thanks a
retired.
lot, Bob.
Well,
We still have the cups.
before you jump to conclusions, spend some time with Tom first.
John
We're all a
Lovitz is
little
our guest.
envious of Bob, actually.
John Lovitz is our guest, and John happens to be.
There's 6 of you.
We're ganging up on you, John. Does it bother you when people tell you how much they love your stuff and your work and your particular movies? Does everyone have a special one that they love?
Why are you?
Because I'm about to tell you how much
I
I
just
love.
You
did
don't
it.
like it?
How much I love Rat Race.
No, it's very flattering. Thank you.
Terrific movie.
Yeah, and it's to me it's a mad world revisited and funnier.
Well, that is exactly what it is. Sherry Lansing was the head of Paramount Studios, and she commissioned the movie. And that's Jerry Zucker, who with David Zucker and Jim Abrams did all the airplane movies and everything, and then Andy Breckman wrote it with. Well, he wrote it, but Andy goes, "I wrote it with Jerry." But Andy's he created the TV show Monk. He used to write on SNL and Letterman. He's one of the few comedy writers that's actually funny and witty. Most of them they're nice people, but it's weird. They have no sense of humor. They can write funny stuff, but they have no. They have no sense of humor. They just look at you. You go, that's funny. Okay. But it was really fun, and Jerry and I really hit it off, and it was a lot of fun to do.
Yeah, it's a great movie. If you've never seen Rat Race, it has one of the great visual gags.
Yeah, the John's.
Oh, but I messed up. Anyway, Sherry Lansing said I want to do a new version of a Mad World. Mm-hmm. So and that's exactly what.
Yeah. When you were a kid, were you a vinyl record comedy album guy?
Oh yeah.
Which one?
Well, no, I could tell. What happened was I saw the movie. I wanted to be Willie Mays growing up, and then I was 15, and I'm like, oh. I will never be an African. It didn't hit me till 15. I'm like, God, I'm so pissed. So then I got into acting, but I was 13, and I saw the movie Take the Money and Run.
Woody Allen, wonderful.
Woody Allen's first movie. And then when I was 16, I saw the movie Lenny about Lenny Bruce, starring Dustin Hoffman. So that was so great. I said, I want to hear the real Lenny Bruce. I'd never heard of him. So I went to the record store, and I bought Lenny Bruce's albums, and then I saw Woody Allen had been a stand-up, and it said Woody Allen, the nightclub years. 1964 to 68. I never knew he was a stand-up, so I bought those, and then I'd play them for my friends, and then we'd be dying laughing, and then I got to college, UC Irvine, and I lived in this dorm, the Fine Arts dorm, Prado, and they'd have a talent night, so I would do Woody Allen and Lenny Bruce's routines.
Wow.
For talent night, and I'd get index cards and write everything out, and then write when their voice would go up and down, and I was actually kind of teaching myself how to write and do comedy and timing. I didn't even know I was doing that, but that's what I was doing.
Yeah, I guess Dustin Hoffman for the movie Lenny memorized lots and lots of routines, and all that. The onstage stuff is all real. He really knew it. Really got it down to do that movie. Terrific movie.
Yeah, well, you can get the albums. I'm sure they're online now.
Oh yeah, sure. The Woody Allen, those are classic. The Woody Allen.
I shot a moose. But I would try to imitate him. I shot a moose. I was hunting in upstate New York. I shot a moose.
Remember Larry goes, you know Mr. Cohen?
The Berkowitzes.
We're speaking with Jon Lovitz, comedian. And
thank God. Thank God you said I was a comedian.
What would you? I'm sorry.
Raconteur, man about town.
Speaking with Jon Lovitz,
comedian.
You remember him when he played Willie Mays in the black and white version.
Well, back
of the
then,
Say Hey Kid.
baseball in the '60s was like Little League. Where I was from, in the Valley in Los Angeles, 100,000 kids were in Little League. I mean, that was it. And baseball was the biggest sport in America, and he was the biggest player in baseball, and he was beyond baseball. He was the Michael Jordan. Let's say, put it this way, Michael Jordan was the Willie Mays of basketball, and he was just, and you ask anyone. I met Tommy Lasorda. I got to play in this Hollywood Stars baseball game they'd have at Dodger Stadium. And I was with Billy Crystal, and we're in Tommy Lasorda's office, and there's a picture of him and Willie Mays. I go, what do you think? Oh, Willie Mays, you know him. What do you think of Willie Mays? He goes, well, I'd have to say Willie Mays is the greatest baseball player I ever saw. And all those guys from his era in the 60s, they still say it, everybody. Dave Kingman I met him, and I said, what'd you think? Oh, you played with Willie Mays? Yep. What'd you think he was? The best. Taught me a lot. He was the best ever. They all say he was like beyond.
And your experience in a baseball movie, we were just talking about this earlier.
Oh, sure, A League of Their Own. Yeah, one of your finest roles, I'd say.
Yeah, one of the scenes that we shot in Evansville, Indiana, it was beautiful, and they wrote that part for me. The Babalu Mandel and Lowell Gans, they used to write Happy Days, and then they wrote Splash with Tom Hanks, Parenthood, a lot of movies. But Bob, every time I see him, he goes, we wrote that part for you. We've never done it before since that they wrote a part specifically for a specific actor, and it was me. And I remember reading the script, and I was just crying, laughing. And I said to my agent, I go, I don't care how much they pay me. I have to play this part. I mean, it's just so funny.
The jump take you do when you see Marla Hooch for the first time is just glorious.
Well, Penny Marshall, God bless her, she was so great to me and she let me live at her house for 2 summers, and she befriended me. I met her 2 weeks before my first show at SNL, and she just looked out for me from the day one. Anyway, I love her and I miss her, but she was great. And so, but that scene was, I'm supposed to like look at Marla Hooch. So I said to her, let me just do a bunch of takes in a row where I just look at her and, you know. I was trying to do it where, you know, everything's fine. I go, all right, well, let me bring her over here. And I'm trying to look at her face. And, and the actor, Eddie, he just passed away. Her father, he was great. He goes, you know, honey, take your hat off. So she looks at me, and I wanted to do a thing where I reacted like I couldn't help it. Right. So like it scared him to the point where he had to physically move back. And like, oh, and then really look at her and go, we'll let you know. And that was a fun part.
We're speaking with Jon Lovitz. You may recognize his voice. What was before? I
recognize your voice.
Oh, thanks. when you got to SNL,
wait a minute, wait. Bob!
Did we get Bob's voice?
No.
What was happening with your life before SNL?
I was in the Groundlings Theater, and I was a messenger, you know. And I got in the main company of the Groundlings, and in September of '84, January, did a new show. Next thing I know, in March, on a Sunday, my voice machine, which everyone's saying, congratulations, congratulations, but not saying what for. I find out we're gonna be on the Tonight Show, and Tom Maxwell was from North Carolina. I go, when? He goes, Thursday. That was on a Monday. I go, what? Because the Groundlings was a 99-seat theater. Now I'm doing my liar character, which was an inside joke between a friend of mine and I, and on the Tonight Show. And you get on the Tonight Show and you score, you have a career. And I couldn't believe it. And anyway, that Thursday came and I was really nervous. I said, Tom, what am I going to do? Half the time the character works and half the time it doesn't. Because they didn't get the first lines, it didn't work, which was, hello, I'm, like a guy at an AA meeting, but Pathological Liars Anonymous. I'm Tommy Flanagan of Pathological Liars Anonymous. And I go, I'm a member of Pathological Liars Anonymous. In fact, I'm the president of it. So they didn't get that joke. The rest of it didn't work. So we're in the makeup room, and there's Jack Lemmon being interviewed by Morley Safer for 60 minutes. And in my mind, I thought, oh, this is that world I heard about where all the famous people live. This is their world. It was just another world to me. And Morley Safer says, what have you learned in your 40 years of acting? And Jack Lemmon said, I've learned keep it simple. So I thought, okay, that's what I've been looking for. Keep it simple. And then the director, I went out there and I said, where should I look? Because you're on the floor, and when Johnny Carson did it in the Burbank, it was like 380 people in the studio, but you're on the floor and they just went up way high into the rafters. So, I'd never done TV. And I did one show, but not like that. And I didn't know where to look. I go, where do I look? He goes, just play it to camera. I said, okay. So that gave me something to focus on and keep it simple. So I'm really looking right in the lens. And it's very strange because a lot of comics now, they'll do anything but look in the camera, which is so stupid because that's where the audience is, And yeah, there's the audience, watching on television. So when you keep looking around, you're not making contact with the people at home watching you. So it doesn't work. And then they don't care that there's other people there. You play it to the camera. And you watch all the guys in the 60s, 70s, they're all playing it to the camera.
Did it work?
Yeah, it worked. I got an agent. Finally, a guy trying to sign me, Mike Eisenstadt, and then he got me auditions, and I got everything I auditioned for. I had to turn down divorce court.
Oh.
But I remember I got an agent on May 3rd. It was March 28th, 85. May 3rd, he signed me because it was all big, deal. And then I said, a couple weeks later, I said, I don't have any money. Can you get me extra work on soaps? Because it paid $90 a day, and I was making like 45. I go, he goes, well, I'll do it if you want, but I don't think it's a good idea. But if you wait 3 weeks, there's going to be a lot of auditions. So the next day, he goes, well, think about it and tell me tomorrow. So I called the next day. I go, okay, I'll wait. And then I got everything I auditioned for. And Lorraine Newman recommended me to Lauren and Charles. I got a movie with Charles Grodin. I got a recurring role in a series, Foley Square, and a movie with Charles Grodin the same day, which was like, I'd only had one job before that for 2 weeks.
Wow.
It was crazy. All of a sudden, everyone's saying yes, yes, yes. And then I got Saturday Night Live. It was like 7 years of no, and then everything was yes. So I thought I go, maybe I went nuts and I'm in a mental hospital. I'm just imagining this. I mean, it was that extreme.
Did you get a decent car finally? with all
Well, I was a messenger. My dad had got me a car in college. You know, I didn't struggle financially growing up. He was a doctor. But after college, he said, you're on your own. So I was living on basically $600 a month for 7 years. So I had a car and the seat had broken, and I had it. It's a funny story. I had the back of my seat, my chin-up bar was holding it up. Anyway, I got SNL. My dad calls me, and he starts cussing him. He goes, that car's a death trap. And he goes, I got in, and he fell backwards. Then he tried to roll the window up, and he couldn't get up. And no, he goes, I sold it. And I'm keeping the money. I go, thanks a lot. I go, okay. I mean, it was like mean. I go, I get a show, and I moved to New York, and you sell my car, and you're keeping the money. Thank you. Very supportive. So that I rented a car, and then I started buying cars, and then I have a lot of nice cars now.
Good.
Too many, but a lot of really nice cars.
Great.
Well, you and Christy would get along then.
I like cars.
Well, people that don't like it, they go, "What's the big deal?" I go, "Because I love driving."
Yep.
Right?
Yes.
Love it.
Especially
And if you get a
manual
good-
transmission, and it's great.
Can you drive a stick?
Yes.
He's
Don't
a car
insult
guy.
our guest.
Jon Lovitz is our guest, a man who can drive a stick and has some good cars now. Yeah, we've all had that crappy car in our past.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the one that the door wouldn't open. You had to go in the passenger door.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that
Well,
was
my
a deal.
first car was it was the ugliest car, but I don't. It was a mustard colored Vega. But it's your car, so you love it. You know.
Yep.
I had a Vega. I had a blue Vega. It had the aluminum block from Chevrolet. That lasted for about two years, I think.
Wow.
It was not good. The
blue
Vega
Vega.
hatchback. Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, well.
right.
Speaking of cars,
Why are these two fellas on your show? Not saying anything.
We're enjoying ourselves. Jealous?
I want you to have all the mic time you need.
Ooh,
Do you want
if I
to
had
play
a
a
voice
Billy?
like that, I'd
Do
be
you want to
doing
play a
radio.
Billy Joel song for
With
Mr.
Jon Lovitz or no?
Yeah, sure.
Play a Billy Joel song.
You want to hear some music?
You want me to play it?
Sure. Come on over.
Need you.
Well, yeah, why do you play one first?
Okay, here we go. Billy Joel for Jenny Craig. She's got a way 250.
He is nonplussed.
Yeah.
That's the definition of nonplussed.
Yeah.
Okay, give him the headphones. Okay.
Jon Lovitz is sitting down at the keyboard.
Yeah,
Okay.
just moving around.
No, he's putting
okay?
it on the phones.
Yeah.
Okay.
we go.
What are you going to
Okay.
play?
She's got away. That's a tough song to play.
There we go. Mr. Jon Lovitz at the keyboard, ladies and gentlemen.
nice.
I feel like I'm doing a jazz show.
Yeah.
Hey, partly cloudy today.
You know, I don't feel like
Shocked. Yes.
Tom.
God was like, oh my,
Lovitz.
that's what a piano player looks like.
We're here in the studio. Tom hasn't showed up.
No, Bob.
I mean, Bob. Well, you know, TOMBOB. It's practically the same thing.
Again, I still have 49,000 of these cups I got to sell. What kind of music do you like to play? Oh, that's what I like. This is the cocktail
that's,
thing.
Good night,
Nice.
good
Go
luck
ahead.
soundtrack. Yeah.
Hey, tonight we've got some special treats for you. Coming up right now, it's a commercial for the Navy Federal Credit Union. Christy Lee, can you take it from here?
I sure can. We were talking about cars. Did you know at Navy Federal Credit Union, you can get a free vehicle history report from Carfax? That's right. With an approved auto loan with Navy Federal, your Carfax report will help you see if the used vehicle has previously been in an accident or other problems.
That's right. A car's a big investment, whether it's a mustard-colored Vega or your dream car. Navy Federal is there to guide you.
Maybe your Dr. Dad sat in it and fell all the way to the back and then confiscated the car.
Navy. Oh, go ahead, Christy.
Can
Navy
you speak a
Federal
little quieter? I
offers.
can't hear the piano.
Navy
He's a
Federal
guest. He's a guest.
offers competitive rates to get you in the car of your dreams, new or used. Special military discounts available, low monthly payments, easy application process, and you can do all that and
Apply for an auto loan pre-approval before you buy. Feel confident at the dealership knowing what you can afford and what you should be paying.
proudly serving the Armed Forces, Department of Defense, veterans, and their families, Navy Federal Credit Union. See if you're eligible to join at
NavyFederal.org.
Thank you very much. On the keyboard tonight, Mr. Jon Lovitz, a kid with a dream.
Actually, I got an idea. Here are some tweeted lines of Jon Lovitz movies that people love.
Okay.
Go ahead.
See the grass, girls? Don't eat it.
No, that's not it.
It's
Is that not it? That's not the line?
Hey cowgirls, see the grass?
Hey, cowgirls, see the grass? Don't eat it.
Let the man do his own lines. We have to come right back. This is the Bob and Tom Show.